Tattooing isn't always about what happens here at the shop. Every year, every weekend, every month, there's a tattoo convention pretty much somewhere. Today, we're going to head down to the Denver Tattoo Convention where my artist Alondra has a booth set up. So I thought, what better way could I explain to you what a tattoo convention's actually like? And instead of just talking about it, I'll go down to the convention, bring you with me, and show you what it's all about. But not only do you get to see the convention today, but you're gonna get to see some gorgeous mountain views on the way down there. It's a beautiful drive, but if you don't get out of Summit County early enough, I-70 is a shit show. This is here in Denver, in Colorado. It's a fun convention, but if you really wanna know about fun conventions, the ones from like 30 years ago, those were fun conventions. Hey, where's your booth at? Okay, I'll be right there. You look familiar as hell. What's your name again?
Adam.
Adam, Sean Oz. You know Phil Fairweather?
Yeah.
He used to sponsor me back in the day with Disney. Yeah. You remember Darren, right? Darren, I can't remember his last name. He's in Louisiana.
Owens.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
He and I were sharing booths. When you go to a tattoo convention, there's basically two types of people that go. There's artists, tattoo artists, and people who want to get tattooed. And usually conventions are set up to cater to all of those types. So there'll be booths of artists spread out all over the place. You can actually go in and get tattooed by. Booths with artwork and collectibles that you can buy things for your home if you're just a patron. They'll have these shows periodically through the weekend, from suspension to sword swallowing and all that kind of just freak show stuff that's sort of fun to watch if you've never seen it before. And when they're held at a convention center like this one here in Denver, the first thing you got to be aware of is parking. It's a bitch. It's expensive unless you park far away from the convention center. I paid 30 bucks for one day, and then I went inside and I had to pay $28 to get into the convention for the day. Now, if you're gonna go multiple days, you can get a pass and save a little bit of money, and that pass price will vary depending on what convention, what city, and so forth. If you're not a vendor, then that's the way you're gonna have to go. You're gonna either get an all weekend pass or you're gonna get a one-day pass so that you can get in and explore, maybe get tattooed, and so forth. If you are a vendor, you're gonna get your booth a long time before the show starts, and those booth rates can run anywhere from $500 to $1,000 and more, depending on if you get one 10 by 10, a corner booth, where you select your booth, if they even give you the option to select your booth, or you might end up just getting stuck somewhere in the crappiest spot on the convention floor. Now, before conventions were pretty much every weekend somewhere across America or just anywhere in the world, they were fewer and far between. You might get one, possibly two a year. I remember one of the first conventions I personally did was the anniversary of the first convention ever. And at that time, there was really only 2 or 3 conventions the entire year through the US. Inkslingers Ball was one of them. Inkslingers Ball to this day is probably still one of the best conventions I've ever done. As time went on, more and more started popping up. A good buddy of mine, Orlando, started throwing one in El Paso, Texas at a small hotel. Those kinds of conventions held at hotels, especially the smaller ones, are what it's about if you're a vendor. It's a smaller venue. You get to really talk to the artist more. It's not so much commotion going on. There's still some conventions held at hotels where everyone who's working those conventions, as well as a lot of the patrons, will come and stay at that hotel. Because of that, you get to know people outside of the actual convention floor. Artists get to meet other artists. Collectors get to meet the artists more personally. It's just a really cool environment. Nowadays, a lot of conventions are held at convention centers. A lot of cities will have more than one person putting different conventions on. So you got to look inside which convention has which artists that are going to fit your needs if you're going there to get a tattoo. Now, this convention is held by Villain Arts. I've done a lot of their shows before. They put on a great show. I'm going to show you how big this is. If you look behind us, this row goes way back there. I don't know, 20, 30 booths at least, and it goes way this way like this. This nothing wrong with a larger convention like this, but it does make it a little less personable for the patrons as well as for the artists that get booths. How's your weekend going?
Good.
What?
Good.
This is Alondra, and she has no idea how good she actually is. I'm walking around here looking at all the portrait artists, and she's just better than like 90% of them.